business group in Germany.
Thanks a lot for staying with us on TVC Breakfast. Well, the Federal Republic of Nigeria as well as the Federal Republic of Germany have witnessed further expansion and strengthening of ties as two important agreements were signed between German and Nigerian businesses in Berlin. President Bola Tinubu told investors at the 10th German-Nigerian Business Forum that Nigeria has a resilient democracy and that it is already positioned to attract foreign direct investments. State House correspondent Femi Akode brings us more details.
Beyond the Compact with Africa Forum, President Bola Tinubu is still courting investors and marketing existing business opportunities in Nigeria. He is here at the German-Nigeria Business Forum that seeks to create partnerships for transformative change. This is the first time a Nigerian president will attend this business forum.
I'm looking forward to having you in Nigeria, investing more.
President Tinubu's strong message to prospective investors is a commitment to eliminate all obstacles in the path of investors.
Economic matter is a challenge. The risk factor in investment is always going to be there. Who could have expected what is happening in Ukraine? Fast investment opportunity. But you have the alternative. Agriculture is one of the most flourishing opportunities. Education. We have vibrant youth population, very vibrant, trainable, dynamic. So we can exchange for one another to flourish.
Nigeria is also home to a multitude of investment opportunities in several sectors, including pharmaceuticals, medical technologies, automotive development, infrastructure, the green economy, technology, mining and energy. Nigeria is also at the beginning of automotive development with growing interest in our fintech and agrotech spaces. This is an area I envisage a lot of scope for collaboration with German firms.
Nigeria is currently Germany's second largest trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa. But Germany, as Europe's economic bloc, seeks to bring more investments into Nigeria that will be mutually beneficial to both countries.
We are delighted to see that this partnership, especially with regard to trade relations, has witnessed significant growth during the last year. We're seeing many encouraging examples of successful business cooperation, also demonstrated by the fact that some 90 German companies are already present in Nigeria. Together, they have created more than 17,000 jobs and provided many opportunities for technical and vocational training.
The private sector in Nigeria seems to be excited about the approach of President Bola Tinubu towards promoting investment opportunities in Nigeria. And they agree as well that Nigeria is ready to do business.
When you look at the key reforms we've had, the exchange rate, which was a real bottleneck to people investing, the merger of the exchange rates, the fuel subsidy where we lost $1 billion a month, and these things were pulled through within days of him starting his administration. So execution of our existing investment framework is the challenge. And I think with the new minister we have and her team, we're seeing a one-stop office for approvals for businesses, foreign investors to come in.
The most important thing is that there is political will to resolve a lot of those bottlenecks that the investors and others faced in the past. There are a lot of steps being taken to increase the amount of liquidity, because at the end of the day, it's about liquidity, right? And steps are being taken to increase the level of FX liquidity in the system. And by having excess liquidity in the system, it makes it easier for the airlines and anyone else who wants to repatriate the proceeds of their business to repatriate those.
President Bola Tinubu's ambitious economic reforms has put Nigeria under the radar of developed economies and global financial institutions. The German-Nigeria Business Forum is one platform that would lead investors to meet opportunities. These kind of business meetings will certainly not be the last. Going by President Bola Tinubu's desire to attract foreign direct investments into the country. But as soon as the results begin to yield, Nigerians may also start to appreciate the efforts made so far. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Berlin, Germany.
Let's talk about the outcome of this Nigeria-Germany relationships. Well, it's said to be strengthened now with this latest visit of the president and his crew. Well, Joe Femi Dagro is with us in the studio to talk about this, sharing some public policy insights. Thank you very much again, Mr. Femi Dagro, for joining us, at this time. And the other time we were speaking about the budding or the growing, what everyone hopes is growing Nigeria-Saudi relations, when the president also held crucial discussions. And now here we are again, Germany, President Tinubu, selling his credentials. He also went on to talk about the resilient democracy that he's also hoping to improve on, as well as other issues. But, all by and large is saying the country, Nigeria, that is well primed to attract more foreign direct investment. How does it all sound to you?
Well, Germany has a great relationship with Nigeria. We've been trading for a long time, and it's good that the president has to visit most of these countries, especially these key allies. It's a good thing to see President Tinubu in Germany, and don't forget, I used to be one of them in Germany as well.
Absolutely.
So
you still are.
So, it's good to see your president coming around to sell your country positively. It's a good marketing strategy for Nigeria. And then another thing is this. The German economy, if you look at it, even a couple of months ago, they have their problems as well. So the president and the chancellor coming to Africa, you must see that for these two key people to come to Africa, there is more to it. They need us as well. They need Africa. They need Nigeria as well. So they will be happy to see African countries like Nigeria coming to tell them, look, we're ready to support you. It's not only Nigeria going to say, look, come and support us, come and trade with us. They need us, because if you look at Europe, is saturated, so the next frontier is Africa, and the biggest market is Nigeria. So it's a good thing to tidy up this relationship, to say, yes, here we are ready to do more. You have Julius Berger here, it's a German company, you have Siemens, you have Bosch, you have a lot of all this, you have BASF and all these other companies, Henkel and all that. And you have the trade aspect of the buying and selling, put it that way, that is really growing. The German wines and all those things that have been imported, the products, the health products and whatever, And so this relationship is a good one. It's just to expand it, in the area of renewable energy. Germany is very good at that. They've been in the front line. Even the whole world knows that the green energy is one of their topmost priority. And now that the gas area is something that they need because of the Ukraine and Russia. Now, they used to have these Russian allies, Russia as a great ally. So there's a fallout somehow. And now they want something for their people as well. So the Germans, they need other areas of getting their own needs. So gas is here, we have seen that, and they've signed it, and it's going to come up very soon. But that very soon is what I just want to let people understand. Very soon is, like the gas we're talking about, is about 2026. But the thing that I believe that President is doing is laying the solid foundation for all these things. Well, you need to have a foundation, a solid one. You need to have the structures in place. So it is not as if wherever the President goes to, have this meeting or summit, he's going to come back to Nigeria with loads of dollars. No, it's not like that. It's going to take some time, and MOUs like people we know. But it's just unfortunate that we are not saying that more, and the people have this expectation that, maybe it's next week, maybe it's next month. So we have to be very careful when we are releasing this public communication and feeding the people with such information.
Right.
The president met with the stakeholders in Germany and is seeking foreign direct investment. What are the quick wins for Nigerians? Because what Nigerians are yearning for at the moment is to get the dividends of democracy, if you agree with me. So what are those things that the president can bring on board from this particular visit that would transform the life of average Nigerians?
You have to begin to look at it that the companies that are already here, they will want to expand. You know, expansion will bring job. And once you have job, it's an added advantage to our own economy. So, and like I said, it's not as if the president will be coming back from Berlin with loads of dollar or euro immediately. It's going to take some time, but it's going to work. Because when a president goes to give reassurance about his country, about his people, about his readiness to work with businesses, yes, it's something good. But the thing is this, the Nigerians out there too, they have a role to play. And then we have to do more. It is not just the president going there once like this and that will transform the whole thing. That, you know, the small and medium scale entrepreneurs in Germany, they are, you know, wealthy. Let me put it that way. They are wealthy and they are ready, but they are taking chances. They are not taking chances. Small and medium. Yes, small and medium. It's not only the bigger ones, the bigger names that we should be looking at, you know, and that is one thing we have to note. You see, but you see, Germans, they are not risk friendly. They don't take risk like that. You should know, you know, even in terms of their car building, they don't just come up with series of Benz every year like you see other brands doing, or every 2 years, or BMW, you know. So this is going to take some times, like I said, but it's going to yield because they want people to reassure them. Germans want reassurance. They want to be seen as people who can do quality job, and then with this quality, you pay the price as well. But in terms of FDI, the foreign direct investment, is going to come, but it's going to be gradual and it's going to be steady. Once the Germans agree to do something, they will do it, and they will do it well, and they will do it in a steady manner. So I believe it's a good thing, but it's going to take some time, but it's going to be done well.
You spoke about, you know, a wealthier SME business, you know, is stronger, you know, more flourishing. But, you know, how can this, when we bring in the recipes or whatever it is they use, you know, to the Nigerian system, you are quite very familiar with the German business setting, but just help us, you know, understand, you know, what is lacking in Nigeria in terms of, you know, making our SMEs flourish more. Number
one is our educational system. You know, in Germany, if you want to be a hairdresser, you go to school for 3 years. If you want to be a florist, 3 years. There's this educational system that allows training
which is formal.
Yes, you know, that is a training of skilled labor for a minimum of 3 years, which is, you know, you go to school, and while you're schooling, you'll be doing this attachment, you'll be doing all this training. So they've been able to train skilled labor. But right now, they are having a shortage of manpower as well. So they are even demanding that Nigerian bricklayers can come, Nigerian welders can come. I mean, there's a great opportunity if you see from that aspect as well. That Nigerian labor is something they may have to deal with when they come here, because we don't have those skilled manpower that meets that standard. And they have to improve on that. Lately, I think a friend was saying that they've come to Nigeria to be training people as well, to change some part of the educational system to improve on that. So if we begin to look at that, it's going to benefit us. And then, like I said, the small and medium entrepreneurs in Germany, they have a stronger association. And these associations are the people we should be talking to, because, you know, they don't want to just invest 1 million euro, 10 million euro, or 20 million euro, just like that. You know, so it's something that Nigeria has to do more. You see, our embassy in Germany has to do more as well. You know, I want a situation whereby the federal government, we improve on their foreign policy as well. The foreign policy whereby you don't just send people out of this country without, most of them are repaid to learn the language of their host country. I mean, I wonder how many people went with the president who can speak German. You know, so if the American president is going to China, he goes with a Chinese American. If he's going to, you know, Germany, we go to, you know, German American. So we have to begin to look at our foreign policy to, you know, take care of that as well. If you go to most of our embassies that, I mean, not English-speaking country, I wonder if some of our staff, if some of our diplomats can speak the language of their host country. So there are a lot of things we have to really improve. You can't be in Germany and you don't speak German language, or you don't go to, I mean, that cannot help you because these guys will not speak English to you in most places. I mean, in crucial areas, even in businesses. You know, so we have to lead the people. And then most of the things you are seeing, like that place you saw the president, African Foreign. African Foreign is an association. So Nigeria, they have a representative. You have different, associations that are promoting, not just the embassy. You have the IHK, you have the AHK, AHK. You know, you see all these people, they are doing what is good for their country. So Nigerian association like NASIMA, you have to begin to have offices in some of these areas where they have to promote. The president has just spoken once. Who continues that presentation? Who continues the promotion after he has
but allow me to interrupt, please. The Farai Association that you see now, is it pro-Africa? Is it pro-Nigeria? For the president to choose a setting as that, is that, going to be beneficial for us or going to be beneficial for the German nation?
Yes, both ways. In the past, it used to be African Foreign is an association that most of the German businesses, they look forward to get information about Africa. So most of them will not even go to your embassy. They go to this Foreign to get, because they believe the Foreign, I mean the association, like African Foreign, is representing them. So now, if we have a NASIMA in Nigeria, you have Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and they are not having offices in those areas. So where do they get the direct information? Most Germans believe, embassies are just there for bureaucracy, selling government policies, but then they want to speak to, businesses like them. So they go to the African Foreign, to the AHK, and they have representatives in Nigeria as well. Don't forget, they have all of this in African countries. So these associations, we need to expand beyond Nigeria, and we need to expand to be able to speak to the people. They are speaking to their people through this Farai, through this association. So where do we speak to the people directly without them? We need them. We cooperate with them, no doubt, but then we have to do more. It is not just only the embassy that has to do all this. You don't see the German embassy there from Nigeria going to do more, but you see them, they have to. We have to do more.
We look forward to a point where African leaders will come together under the African Union to also hold summits that we have to bring in some of these Western powers to the country for better development. We agree with me, Mr. Dagoro?
Honestly speaking, I said it the last time here. You see, I wonder why the African Union will not come up with something like this. Because these people, I tell you, I repeat it, they need us. We need them, but they need us. Look at the gas they want from us. They want this gas from us, they have to invest. I wonder when we're not doing this kind of summit you just mentioned. But African Union, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a complex kind of a thing or lack of fund. Most of our associations or most of our bilateral groups, I don't think they are well funded like what you have just seen there. When you don't have good funding, most countries are not paying their dues. And I think it's only Nigeria and some few countries that are paying and even sponsoring most of these things. Look at ECOWAS. Look at for how long have they been planning to have ECOWAS currency, to have AU currency. So we are not coordinated properly. And now you are seeing the East African countries doing their own thing to say, look, you can come to East Africa without a passport or without a visa. So why are we not doing this thing, to cover the whole Africa as a continent? Before you know it, Burundi will say, look, you can come to Burundi as well. Look at a good university that is established in Burundi. It's established by Nigeria. And they offer courses, approved courses, even in medicine. So you begin to see that Nigerians are, entrepreneurial and they are ready to take risk. But most of these people coming to Nigeria, they are not really, they are very cautious about it. And when they are coming in, and don't forget, this idea of this 419 thing, don't forget, it's all over the place.
That is real.
And that is real. And look, in Germany is a big problem. I tell you what. So that is why I'm saying that the president going to say, look, we are this, we are that, we are good for your business. Come to the right channel. So that you know, so it's a good thing. But the African Union has to take a bolder step. And you see, if the African Union is not taking the bolder step, regionally, people are taking their steps. So ECOWAS should begin to do its own summit as well. Because we see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was there, his counterpart from Cote d'Ivoire was there. And, so if we bring all these people together, it will give them an opportunity. And sometimes we give them a tour of our country, a tour of our businesses. And let the businessmen and women, like you see, Wale Tinubu there speaking. They want to meet people like that. They want to speak to them directly. And it has to be a continuous program. It's not once in a year or once in 4 years.
All right. The German Chancellor announced a 4 billion euro investment for Africa. Walk us through this particular development, how this money will be disbursed to African countries to better the lives of Africans.
You know, apart from the Chancellor or the German people or the German government as well. European Union has funds for us. There are so many places we can tap into to get our funds. But the point is this, they will have their metrics. They will have their ways of analyzing the country's specific need. And they have their people on the ground who will tell them this is what and what you have. So it is not what we are telling them, it's what their people on ground here in Nigeria, here in Africa, is telling them. They rely on that information. And only if we too can have such information directly, having our people on ground, over there to tell us, look, these are the countries, these are the companies that are already interested. Let's, give this country waivers. Let's give them specific incentives. We should give incentives, but the incentives have to be controlled, have to be monitored so that we don't begin to waste money again. We should improve on our area of corruption, because you see, if you're a German citizen, if you mess around somewhere outside Germany, and you can be probed, you can be sentenced to jail in Germany when you go back there. So if we don't put enough into this area of corruption, bribery, and whatever, they will still be skeptical. So our judiciary plays a role there. Right. And when this gentleman was there before as EFCC guy, he went there as well to tell them that, look, this is what I'm doing. And don't forget, they are sponsoring us again. They are supporting us in the area of drug fighting, drug war, and because it affects them as well. That's the market that these things are going. So they train us they train the manpower, the Nigerian policemen, the NDLA, and EFCC. So this collaboration is not just only in business; it transcends beyond business. It goes into other areas.
And looking at this this relationship now, the president also spoke about his economic reforms, and you've also spoken about the astuteness of business leaders in Germany. I wonder how you would place Nigeria's economic reforms, of course, top of which is the fuel subsidy removal issue, how that Nigeria, the government insists, is ready to do business with foreign nations. Where is the place of the country's economic reforms under the Tinubu administration in a business setting as Germany?
That is what is encouraging to them as well. Don't forget, they belong to the World Organization as well, and say, if we are doing something positive, if like this subsidy removal, it shows that, look, we are concerned. It shows that we are doing something. And like I've always been saying, the structures have to be put in place. And they welcome most of the structures, most of the things we're doing right now. And they would like to see it as a continuous program, not after 4 years, this thing is no longer there. So that is why...
but in terms of the effect of these policies now, do you think they will also be encouraging enough to the harsh effects? People are saying the effects are still harsh. The government is yet to create, strong buffers. What do you think?
Yes, they understood that carefully, because if such a thing is done in Europe or in Germany, the people feel it. Like this issue of gas, some people had problems. People were getting sick. They couldn't afford so many things. There was inflation lately, and it just reducing. So they know what the people. They know how the unions in Germany, the very strong unions, they can go on strike. They don't want all those things. You see what's going on in France, what's going on in UK. So the European community, they understand the effect on their people, so they understand the harshness on the people of Nigeria, and they understand what Nigerians are going through. But they just feel that, look, can we manage it? And when you look at this foreign exchange issue, can we manage it? Because now euro is about 1,000 and something, 1,100 in the open market, in the black market, or parallel market, you call it. So now they monitor all this in the sea, and they want to know that, look, the government is managing it well. It's not about not doing it, but how to manage it. If the government is managing it and see the effect of it, and they are supporting, they are ready to support, because they don't want the backlash that, look, you don't support us, and then when people start coming over there, you face the problem. So they rather want to support African countries now to be stable and to be on the right track, rather than people leaving, and to go there and become asylum seekers and whatever. So they are trying to make sure that, look, you can enjoy in your country, you can be comfortable in your country. And that's why now this idea of, listen, we need manpower, come and work with us, earn your euro legally, legitimately, and then you can still go back to your country. So these are things that at the end of the day is working.
Well, I would like to talk about the inflation rate at the moment in the country, Nigeria, and looking at the high cost of living. So what do you think the president should be doing in the outcome of this meeting in Berlin?
You've spoken about the best team, creating, a very good team.
If you look at what Cardoso, the new CBN governor, is doing, I mean, most people have said, look, he's not having this meeting, NPR meeting, NPC meeting, or whatever meeting that he knows what he's doing. There's no point increasing the rates right now. And most of the theory of increasing rates and then it will bring down inflation, some of this economic theory, I told a friend yesterday, it's not working in Nigeria. So we have to be more creative. And what can the president do? This system has been, madly, like insanely disrupted for years. So we're living not in reality. So now the reality has hit us and we're looking at it, how do we cope? Yes, we have to face it, but for a long time. Then the people say, for how long? Is it for the whole year?
Do we even have what it takes? It's talking about homegrown solutions.
Exactly. And that is why, like I said, the people are reading and they're having information. The other day, I think it's S&P or one of these groups, they said, listen, we can't manage this float of Naira, the floating system that we have introduced, that we don't have the experience to manage it. So now, if we're able to manage all these reforms properly, you see Saudi Aramco said they are coming. You see how Saudi Aramco is being managed? Are we managing the NNPCL like that? Can we reform NNPC to be managed like Saudi Aramco, which is one of the profitable business in the world? So these are the things they want to do. The management of reform is not just introducing the reform that is the issue. You can introduce it, but how do you manage it?
And implementation.
And the implementation and the monitoring. And, so these are the issues the president has to look into, carefully. And now we are going around the world saying that this is who we are. Do we really have our own foreign policy? What is guiding us? Or what we continue to guide us in our foreign policy. So we have to decide. But you see, it's like we want everything to happen at a go, but it can't happen at a go. It takes time. But I think they're trying to do the right thing. Okay. Then we have to be careful. The German politicians, they won't write a bulletproof.
Okay.
And all these are what is affecting the morale of the citizens of this country.
All right, Joe Femi Dagoro, public policy analyst. It's a fine place to rest our conversation. We thank you as always for your insights.
I appreciate it.
Right.